Greetings. My name is Richard Gallion. I'm a BSN nurse. I have a master's degree in a non-nursing study. I am currently in nurse practitioner school as well for my master's degree, and I'm the director of nursing for Voyager Home Healthcare. This is Voyager Home Healthcare, additional training, category 1, nutritional training 1. Today I'm going to talk to you about nutrition. However, proper nutrition cannot be taught in just one section, so I would implore you to also go and understand these concepts through additional research yourself by researching natural nutrition. I'm going to go over a lot of concepts, but like stated previously, please go and research and spend additional time on these topics. Today's topics are nutritional lies and natural truth. So there's a lot of fake news going on in general, and usually there always is, but there's also a lot of fake news in the nutritional world with the media. A lot of information provided to us about nutrition has strings attached. Agendas, usually someone is making a profit one way or another. For instance, we always hear about the next best diet, seemingly on a weekly basis. You have the diets such as Atkins, vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, paleo, slim fast, Weight Watchers, DASH, some crazy people eat only raw meat, and there's a few other diets as well. All diets are supposedly the best, yet most of them oppose each other. The truth is, in general, diets are essentially worthless. Even if the diet is healthy, even if the diet is good, if the diet has good concepts, even if the diet will help you lose weight, a diet is only temporary, and they usually never last. People never really go back to their old unhealthy ways after a season of following a diet. Research shows that changing your lifestyle is what creates long-lasting change, not a fad, not a diet. Real and unbiased nutritional concepts will help you during these situations and for your clients as well. So you need to realize our clients have the right to choose whatever they want, and if they want to be a part of a diet, that's fine. We can help them through that. But I also implore you to speak with the clients about changing their lifestyle, which is much more important than a diet. If they can change your lifestyle, if they can add new concepts, new nutritional concepts, that'll last for a lifetime. And we gotta be careful too, because some diets can be harmful. Some diets can make it so they're not getting the nutrients and vitamins and minerals that they need. So we gotta keep an eye open for this. Let's go over some nutritional lies so we can understand some concepts that will help change your lifestyle, hopefully for a lifetime. That's what we want to do for our clients. First of all, let me reiterate that a lot of diets do have good concepts, but tend to be one-sided. Though you can get some good concepts from diets, in general it's best to avoid diets and focus on eating well-rounded meals. For instance, most people believe vegetarian diets are the healthiest. But let's be honest, most hardcore vegetarians, especially those who've been done it for long times, and vegans, they just don't look healthy. Well, why is this? A lot of time vegetarians and vegans focus on grains, but not as many fruits and vegetables, and they usually also lack protein. Now, they usually focus on grains because essentially they're hungry all the time, and grains can fill them up. And even though they're vegetarians, they don't get as much vegetables and fruits because you just don't get that filling feeling from those, because how you really get filled is through fats and oils, which come from meats, and you can get that also from grains. You have to eat a little bit more, but that's why essentially they lack some nutrients there. Now, vegetarians usually have vitamin deficiency as well, like vitamin B12, which you get from your meats. Some studies show that over 90% of vegans are deficient in essential nutrients. B12 deficiency can lead to low energy, infertility, depression, poor memory, and on and on. However, there are good concepts for vegetarian diets. Vegetables are super important, should be a large focus during all of our meals and our clients' meals, just not the only focus. Soy is honestly not that healthy for you. You can't avoid soy, but don't focus on it either. Soy mimics estrogen, and high levels are associated with increased risk of certain cancers and inflammation in general. I would choose nut or coconut milk instead of soy milk. Some great ones are almond milk, cashew milk, there's coconut milk, goat's milk as well. Are all good alternatives for someone who usually doesn't want cow's milk, and so they turn to soy. So let's keep that in mind. And avoiding soy products in general really does help our clients. Though, once again, all of this nutritional information is helpful and it can help you with the clients, but remember, it's their choice what they want to eat. We can only be someone who advocates for them and brings them information. They have rights to do essentially what they want. So, however, the more information we can bring and the better teachings we can provide, the better choices you see in the future with your clients. Another lie is eating too much protein is bad for you. The truth is, protein is essentially, to every living cell in your body, something that you have to have. Protein is extremely important and critical for hormones, cells, and bone health. For instance, high quality protein in your diets is associated with improved bone health and lower risk of fractures. Protein helps your body repair itself after a hard workout or an injury, and this is really important for our clients. We don't want fractures, we don't want chances, we don't want terrible bone health. So you have to think about protein, especially for the older adult. You can lose a lot of weight if you don't have protein in your diet. And remember, sometimes older adults don't eat as much, so we have to be particular about what we feed them and what we can educate and provide, and that has to have protein in it. Don't believe the hottest diet fads. I know we spoke about this a little bit, but you need balanced nutrition. For example, totally limiting dairy can hurt your calcium levels. It can limit essential fat-soluble vitamins and minerals. Now, I understand if you don't want to drink dairy, and there's a lot of concepts about dairy, such as humans were never really meant to drink dairy milk. It just doesn't process well. That's why you see a lot of lactose intolerant. I think the majority why you see lactose intolerant is actually because of how we're treating our cows. All the hormones, all the antibiotics, how we're feeding cows just terrible things. Farmers, and this isn't all farmers, but some farmers will go and buy old rotting candy or old rotting food and feed it to the cows as filler. And, lo and behold, all of a sudden, with these poor practices, you see these rise in lactose intolerant. But some people like to get milk out of their diet, and it is healthy to do that. And there's a lot of healthy alternatives like cashew, almond, coconut milk. Goat's milk is also one that's easily digestible, where they say cow's milk is harder for the human body to digest. So if they don't want milk, that's fine. But we can offer them yogurt, cheese, or kefir. And if they react to yogurt and cheese, people usually don't react to kefir, which is an amazing milk product. It's cultured milk, but because it's cultured, a lot of people don't react to kefir. And there's non-cow kefir, there's goat's kefir, there's vegetable kefir, and kefir is this amazing probiotic that just really fills your body with good probiotics. And essentially, a lot of people, when they get sick, especially with stomach situations, essentially what's happening is bad bacteria is getting into their stomach, and it's renting or buying all this real estate down there, and then the more it buys, the more it kicks out the good bacteria. Well, kefir, like other probiotics, what they do is you drink them and it sends an army of good bacteria back down and take over all that real estate and kick out all the bad bacteria. And your body will naturally kick out bad bacteria over time, especially if you're healthy. Though if you're older or if your immune system's down, it takes a longer time. Kefir and other probiotics are really amazing to help you in that situation. And there's probiotics in yogurt and some cheese, but really to a much lesser degree than kefir. Also in general, you can try goat's milk or goat's cheese as an alternative to milk. As stated earlier, it's easier to digest. Vegans miss out on many key nutrients, like stated before. Vegans lack the vitamin B12, which is so important. And I just want to reiterate, it can cause a lack of B12 is associated with certain cancers, infertility, low energy levels, heart disease. It's a bad thing to have. So if you ever have a vegan or vegetarian client, it would be a great idea to really focus on the possibility of getting some meats. They might not want certain types of meats, but we can get some fish, we can get something in there. Like stated before, however, it is their choice and we can only bring this information to them. If you want to do a gluten-free diet, make sure you at least eat gluten-free grains. There is a lot of research about getting away from breads and how that can be super healthy. And the issue is, once again, poor practice, which is why you see a lot of people with gluten intolerance. Because making bread, there's actually a system. And a lot of times people take shortcuts when they make bread, which is really unhealthy for the human body, so that they can make bread faster. One shortcut is you're supposed to actually sprout bread, which means you take the seeds of the grains and you put them in water for about 24 hours and they sprout, and it makes it so much easier for your body to digest. A lot of companies bypass this and they don't sprout the bread. And because of that, it's very difficult on the body. So if you ever do look for bread and you're ever going to buy bread, look for something that actually says sprouted bread or organic. Otherwise, if you want to get away from gluten altogether, there's tons of gluten-free breads. I mean, anything you can think of. There's almond, there's beans, there's types of flours, there's rice, there's plants. I mean, they even make bread out of crickets and other bugs as well. It's just crazy, but a lot of them are super healthy and super great for you. However, if you are going to do regular bread, I would highly suggest sprouted. You can get sprouted bread at many different places. It says it right on there. It's a great advertisement tool for them. In places such as Sprouts, you can see sprouted organic bread. A lot easier for the body to digest. However, if you are not eating gluten bread or gluten-free grains, you can get deficiencies such as folate, vitamin A, magnesium, and others. Another area is cholesterol. For so long, people say that cholesterol is bad for you, high cholesterol levels are terrible, and now even the government has finally stated that cholesterol isn't bad. You need it for your body. It makes your cell walls rigid, not non-rigid, and cholesterol helps in so many different ways, and we shouldn't avoid foods with cholesterol. The only time high cholesterol is bad for you is if you're not working out and you're living a sedentary lifestyle, then high cholesterol can be bad. But as long as there's activity, cholesterol is not a bad thing. So that's a great thing to teach our clients as well. There's also a fad about eating 5 to 6 meals a day that's coming out instead of the traditional 3 meals. Frequent snacking throughout the day has grown popularity in some groups. There is a thought that eating often stimulates metabolism, which can lead to weight loss. How much weight in reality, though, correlates to the total amount of food you eat? So that theory has been proving false. And they're actually saying that fasting time in between the 3 meals a day you have is actually good for you. Whereas if you eat 5, 6 times a day, you don't have that fasting time and you essentially are always metabolizing food. However, like stated earlier, how much you're going to weigh is essentially the total amount of food and what types of food you're eating, not how often you're eating it. And remember, if you do want to do the 5 to 6 times a day and you have the snacks, just think about healthy snacks. You know, it shouldn't be Twinkies and Snickers. It should be some fruits and vegetables, maybe some healthy protein bars are good snacks to have. It doesn't really matter, like I said, if it's 3 times, if it's 6 times, just think about your eating. Nuts, fruits, just don't let it be candy all the time. Sugar is not necessarily bad for you. That's another lie that's been going on for a while. It's all about moderation. Most of our foods, including fruits, have sugar, and fruits actually have high levels of sugar. However, it's good natural sugars. So you don't want to eat fruits all day because you'll get a lot of sugar, but it's completely different than eating other types of refined sugars. Now, what you really want to stay away from is artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners can be linked to kidney damage, weight gain, cancer, headaches, memory loss, and so much more. And the issue is they came up with these artificial sweeteners to lose weight, and you're not eating sugar, but essentially they are just chemicals and they're really bad for you. And if you do anything, stay away from artificial sweeteners. If the clients are taking artificial sweeteners, please let them know that they can actually make you gain weight, and there's so much damage correlated with artificial sweeteners, and that's a huge thing to educate and get away from the clients. If you want to lower your sugar consumption, there's so many natural sweeteners that are super good for you. Honey's a good one. You get coconut sugar, stevia, which is a plant. Get those online at stores. My favorite is xylitol sugar, which is actually a sugar that cleans your teeth and lowers your chances of cavities while you eat it, which is crazy. It's an African bark, and you can essentially be eating these cookies, and it's such a great tasting sugar. Tastes like rock candy. You'd be eating these cookies and it's actually cleaning your teeth, which is just a crazy thing to think of. Next, we're going to talk about low-fat diets. And low-fat diets were a huge craze for a long time, but it turned out that they're actually not healthy for you. You can actually gain weight by having low-fat diets, which I'll explain. Really, it's about the fat you use. There are healthy and unhealthy fats. Eating a low-fat diet can potentially lead to increased chances of cancer, type 2 diabetes, nutritional deficiencies, and much more. Well, it can also lead to obesity, like I said. Less fat can make you fat. Let's talk about how that works. The truth is that you're trading fat for something worse. Do you eat food that you hate? No. So, fat makes our food taste good. And when you go for those low-fat diets, you're getting additional grains, sweeteners, and unhealthy fats that make up for the lost taste. And just think about this for a second. If fats help make our food taste good, the texture, everything about it, and they're going to essentially make these foods, and they say, oh, no fat, low fat, so healthy for you, you're not going to eat something that doesn't taste good. So they have to put chemicals and other fats and other oils that are actually unhealthy for you so you can get that good taste. And a lot of those other chemicals and those other quote-unquote lower fat items are actually bad for you to such a point that it can cause more obesity. So keep that in your mind. And remember, there's healthy fats and there's unhealthy fats. Unhealthy oils such as vegetable oils, which include canola, peanut, and corn, are associated with inflammation and heart disease, which means the whole fad can actually cause what it supposedly cures. Healthy fats include olive oil, coconut oil, avocado, nuts, fish oils, and even plain butter, though it's best to get it from grass-fed cows if possible, and organic also. They used to think that saturated fats were bad for you, but they found out they were really not, and your body needs it. Coconut oil by itself is such a healthy fat that a lot of people actually take a scoop of coconut oil and eat it, and it's so great for them in their body, and it won't make them gain weight. It'll actually make them lose weight over time. You can put it in your skin, make lotions. Coconut oil is just absolutely amazing. So let's talk about staying away from fast foods. Now, our clients and even the employees as well know that fast foods are bad, but sometimes they just want them. They taste good, they're cheap. But why does it taste so good, and why is it so cheap? How does that work anyways? Have you ever seen a hamburger from McDonald's that has been left out in the open for years? Buying a hamburger and just leave it out, and you can leave it out for years. Well, guess what? It essentially looks the same as the day you bought it, even if it's years down the road, where something that was a natural food would be decomposing and essentially completely gone, molding, just after a few days. Maybe not completely gone, but molding, decomposing after a few days, but after a while it would essentially disappear, or essentially if it didn't disappear, it would get smaller and be really disgusting, but not McDonald's or Burger King or these other places. And you can YouTube this as well. Look at the Immortal Burger or Forever Fries, what they're called, because they live and last forever. And why is that? Well, they're not real food. Most of the fast food that they serve you, it's just fake. It's just a bunch of chemicals put together in a crazy array that makes it taste really good, but it has no nutritional benefits. It's so damaging to the body. It's hard for your body to metabolize. A lot of times it's hard for your body to even get rid of these fast foods in your body. So they're stuck there with the trans fat and other things that if your body can't metabolize it, and it's also hard for your body to get rid of, and so it can cause obesity. So we all know recreational drugs are addicting and that they'll destroy your lives, but did you know that there's food engineers that actually try to mimic the euphoria your body feels when it takes drugs as the same euphoria you feel when you eat their food, which is just crazy, and you can look this up. And these fast food restaurants will create these foods, and they're so addicting because they will make these chemicals that they put in these foods essentially really close to the same structures as drugs that give that euphoria and give that addicting situation where these foods become addicting to you. And like I said, it's not even including the damage these chemicals that the food are made of can cause your body. So if you want to go for fast foods, try some more honest companies like Chipotle or Panera. You know, I'm not saying that they're the best, but they're way better than Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's. I'm not saying not to go out to restaurants, but just be smart. You can't get away from everything, and you know, you don't want to live as a hermit. You want to enjoy yourself, but just think it's all in moderation, and you can research this yourselves. Like I said, YouTube Immortal Burger or Forever Fries and see it yourself. This brings me to sweets, candies, and unhealthy snacks. Who doesn't like a good old candy bar? Well, remember how fast food engineers create addicting food, trying to mimic the euphoria of extreme happiness and extreme feelings when you eat their products? Well, they do the same thing with these unhealthy snacks. I'm not going to tell you not to eat or stop eating, you know, your candy bars, but think about moderation. And if clients want to eat that, that's fine, but also think about moderation as well and look for alternatives. There's a misconception that alternative healthy snacks are just not tasty. Well, go out to a health food store and check out the bulk section. They always have candies that have less chemicals and are healthy overall. For instance, you could try and buy chocolate-covered nuts rather than M&Ms, or health bars instead of Snickers. Now moving on from there as well, eat more vegetables and fruits. Fruits are great, but you also have high natural sugars in fruits, which are not bad. However, it's one reason we should be mostly focused on vegetables. Another reason is you just naturally eat fruit. Fruit's tasty, it's great. A lot of people do love vegetables, but maybe it's hard to get a large quantity or variety of vegetables. One thing you can do as well is start by eating your vegetables. You know, have that salad first. When you're more hungry, things are more appetizing, especially if a client has issues with vegetables. Try and make them tasty and try and make them first. Why do they say eat every color? Well, different colors are associated with different nutrients. So essentially eat the rainbow, because dark green leafy vegetables give you certain nutrients, where yellow vegetables or orange vegetables might give you other ones, and red as well. Essentially though, like say before, this is all about the client, what the client wants. We're here to educate them, we're here to help them, we're here to give them teachings, and we want to make everything good. We want to make their life as healthy as possible, because you really are what you eat. Your energy levels, your immune system, how healthy you are, how often you get sick, a lot of those are linked to what you eat. So we really do want to focus on nutrition, and at Voyager we really focus on nutrition in general. And there's a lot of other nutritional facts as well. There's a lot of great supplements that we can get into. But overall, you want a nice, healthy, balanced diet. You want a lot of vegetables, you want to get fruit in there, you want to make sure you get your proteins and meat. You want grains as well, if possible, gluten-free grains, but make sure that you get them. And always the desserts are good as well. Just make sure that's more natural, healthy desserts, because if you just go to Walmart or Target and buy a cake, if you actually look at the ingredients of that cake, there's usually more ingredients there than what you'll find on fertilizers. So just be conscientious about this, think in moderation, and be smart about what you're doing for both yourself as an employee. You want to stay healthy yourselves, and also for the clients, because we're always here for them. The clients are always be placed first with us, and we want to make sure their quality of life is high, and nutrition is a huge part of quality of life. So thank you for your time. You have a wonderful evening, and I hope all is well.